Good evening, and welcome to the November 10th meeting of the Board of Selectmen. Would all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, welcome. A couple of announcements quickly here, and then we've got a couple of public hearings. Just want to remind everybody for the raffle for Wab for Want, the Waterboro Association of Businesses is still running their raffle fundraiser, $3,500 worth of oil or cash should you win. There's only 1,000 tickets, $10 each, so you get one shot and 1,000 to win. If you're interested in tickets, see one of the local businesses in town or here at the assessing office. I want to remind everybody to continue to recycle. We have, in an effort to try to expand recycling in the community, we have now put out a couple of silver bullets. One that is in the parking lot here at the town office, and another one over at the Lions facility. So if you do not have your recyclables to take to the transfer station, or you have your trash picked up and someone doesn't pick up recyclables, there are those two convenient locations for you to deposit them. You don't have to sort them, they just go in the silver bullet as is. So we would appreciate people continuing or starting to recycle. Just want to send our thoughts out to former fire chief in town, young Frank Brookmouse is in the hospital, and we wish him well, and certainly prayers go out to his family as well in this time of need. So, any other announcements? Yep.
Sean Sanborn, our contract deputy, is back, in part due to the sheriff department losing two other people. Sergeant Thompson left and is going to go to work for Westbrook PD, and Sergeant Chevette, Danielle Chevette, has an issue with her back that's going to prevent her from continuing her career in law enforcement, so she is done. But we welcome Sean back. I guess Selectman Gerard saw him in court today, so we know that he's out and about.
Out and about.
Good. At this time, I'd like to call to order public hearing. This public hearing is for regarding the application for the Friends of Waterboro Public Library for a one-day malt and spirituous and vinous liquor license for a gala and silent auction to be held on November 21st. Any comments, questions? I guess I would entertain a motion to close this public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? I'd like to call to order a second public hearing for, also for the Friends of the Waterboro Public Library for a special amusement permit to be utilized the same date, November 21st. For the gala and silent auction. I guess they will have music to accommodate the event. So, any comments, questions, concerns? How many people do you expect, Jack?
Well, we're hoping for 150. We're aware that that's pretty idealistic, but we'll know a week from now when we see how tickets are going and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
What are you talking about? This is what they look like, the tickets.
Over here.
They're beautiful if you want to see them up real close.
All right, with all due respect, I'm not sure what that has to do with the public hearing, but...
And this is more chamber-type music than rock and roll.
Right.
Yes.
Jazz.
Yeah, I don't think that the...
Quarter, that kind of
Yes. Just
So, if there's no questions or comments, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn that.
So moved.
second.
All those in favor? And also ask the board, seeing as how we evidently left this off from the agenda, to add item 2 under new business to discuss vote on the Friends of the Waterboro Public Library's one-day liquor license and special amusement permit.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? All right, we'll add that as item 2. We do have a couple of things going tonight. It's approximately 6:10. We do have Howe and Howe, from Mike Howe and Geoff Howe from Howe Technologies, who is the new company coming to the municipality and will be occupying the former architectural glazing technology building. And then at 6:30, we have the Maine Commissioner of Economic and Community Development, John Richardson, who will be here. So we will move through some of this relatively quickly if we can. Anyone hearing of delegation?
Oh, you forgot. Did you do the one-day references?
Pardon?
Did you do both of them?
Did I boot the
Yeah,
whole
okay.
one?
Oh, I'm paying attention.
Snooze a little bit?
Yeah. I went on a trip. I'm back now.
There's no correspondence. I also want to take a minute to recognize Representative Wagner, who is a frequent attendee of our Selectmen's meetings here, so we welcome him here this evening. We go through reports quickly here. Anything, Nancy?
Yeah, Department of Labor came in on Friday to do a courtesy inspection. On Friday, they did the fire department in this building, and what they do is they come in, they notice the deficiencies, and they give us so much time to fix them, or then we could face a fine. But it's not like it was before. They come in and find it and you get fined. This way it's a courtesy. This Friday, they are planning on doing the transfer station, highway department, and if they have time, the library.
So this is a pre-audit, kind of.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. And she's very thorough, I can tell you that. At the department head meeting held last week, we had discussed putting together a training proposal. Matt worked on an outline, but with the inspections and some training she mentioned, we'll probably hold off until we get the results back, in case Department of Labor is going to add on more trainings, so that we can do it all in one proposal instead of trying to do one proposal and coming back with an amended one. And I want to congratulate Pam LaRue on her new title as President of International Association of Emergency Managers, and also on her achievement as Certified Emergency Manager.
Good for her.
Good. Good for
Good
her.
job.
Anything else, Nancy? Anything?
And when she comes into town, is there a motorcade or something?
Amy Jo?
Last week, we talked about the Budget Committee, and I did have a talk with John Sylvester. It just so happened this came up prior to Willis, because one of the Budget Committee members who was representing Biddeford as an elected official did not run for re-election, but did not mention that during the caucus, so she will be off the Budget Committee as of January. So they ended up going to the county attorney for an opinion on replacing Budget Committee members. And the opinion of the attorney is that York County law does not provide for filling vacancies other than the regular caucus, which is the one that's held in October, 100 days before the Budget Committee, before the new budget. So there is no provision that allows for replacing vacancies on the York County Budget Committee. And while John and I were talking, he sent me a couple of documents, and we talked a little bit about the 12-town meeting that's coming up on Monday evening. And just so that you're aware, it's actually a 10.13% increase that county is going to be proposing in assessment to the communities, and not the 8% that we we heard a month or so ago.
That's nuts.
So that'll be a topic of conversation on Monday evening.
Wow. Ridiculous.
Anything else, Tammy? Jo?
That's it.
Anything else from the board?
I'm all set.
You all set? We will continue with the reports. Right now, I'm going to, since how we've had our guests come in, going to kind of turn this over to Tom Mercer, who's the town planner, who has been, from our perspective anyway, a significant player in what's been going on in the community and relative to some of the economic growth and opportunities. So, Tom, you have the floor. We're very careful with giving Tom the floor.
Say,
We may not get it back.
Tom does have a tendency to,
excellent.
he has a time limit in other meetings. So.
But I don't tonight, right?
Tonight, if the
Okay.
floor is yours. So.
Ah, did you hear that, guys? I have the floor tonight. Welcome, board. Welcome, town administrator. This is a really eventful night, and I am so pleased to stand before you and introduce some people that you haven't had a full opportunity to meet, and now you're going to meet them up front, in person, face to face, ask some questions, and get to see who these people are. But before I introduce the Howe brothers, I'd like to take a moment and introduce Nick Sakaris. Nick Sakaris is one of the co-owners of the ATA or AGT building, as some know it, the soon-to-be Howe Brothers building. And Nick has been just a great asset, very responsive. We've spent, it seems like almost a half a year now together working on a variety of different details. And Nick, I wanted to personally thank you for, one, coming this evening. Nick is, as both Mike and Geoff are, a very intense patriot, very patriotic to this country, a veteran, and also very involved with veteran affairs, both with our troops leaving and coming back at peace. And so, Nick, I'd like to take this opportunity just to, if you'd like to say a couple words to the board, you're welcome to come right up.
I'm not the speaker that Tom is, so I'll keep it as brief as I can.
Some would argue that Tom's not a speaker either. But
Yeah, this really has kind of bittersweet because I've enjoyed the relationship that we've had with Waterboro here. I'm looking forward to the house growing with this project. Right now it's in lease, and the paperwork is already underway to purchase this building by the end of December, we're hoping. That is, if the banks move well. I'm not very good at throwing accolades around, but this town and the Selectmen have just done a tremendous job working with me and working with Tom to get this deal through, helping us out different ways. I can't say enough of what Tom has done for everyone here. His legwork in the beginning really made it work, because without him, I'm not sure I could have nailed this down myself. I'm not going to say too much more than that, other than I look forward to the same relationship with the Howe and Howe Technology Group that I have had over the years with Waterboro, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. What I'd like to do is share some thoughts about Mike and Geoff, two really fine gents that when I first met, first thing we started, I think, talking about was fishing, which, is, as everyone knows, is a real passion. I'm still trying to figure out who's the better fisherman, Mike or Geoff, but once they get settled in, maybe next spring or summer, we can steal away a day and go out and do some salmon fishing. What I'd like to do is share a little bit of history of how the Howe brothers developed. And I'm going to take you up to the year 2001 and then have Mike and Geoff jump in. Back when, as the story goes, back when you were about 5, 6 years old, the two Howe brothers formed a Howe Construction Company. And in the formation of Howe Construction Company, they first started tinkering around with toasters, and I'm told, blowing up things in their wood stove. I'm not sure if there's any accuracy to that, but that's what I'm told. When they were 16, they decided to, before they got their licenses, they decided to invest in a Nova Super Sport and soup it up, and there became some of the mechanical wonders of creating things. They then went off to school. They both graduated from Kents Hill. Mike went off to Bowdoin, graduated from Bowdoin. Geoff went off to the University of Maine. And throughout that process, they also decided they wanted to see what commercial fisheries were like, so they experimented a bit with commercial fisheries. But their true passion and their true love became working with buggies. And so when they created these off-road buggies, they started thinking about how could we create the vision for the world's fastest track vehicle. And there's where it all began, I'm told. In 2001, the beginnings of the ripsaw began. And it's at that point that I'd like these gentlemen to tell you about what's happened over the last 8 to 10 years, how they've divested, how they've got involved with a whole series of really exciting things. Sometimes I have to pinch myself when I think about the time that you introduced me to the Discovery Channel when they came over. They'll tell you more details on it, but there's nothing but those wild Californians in there, you know. Huh?
By the way, real quick, do you mind?
Yes. So what I'd like to do is to offer both Mike and Geoff a real warm welcome to the community and have you come up and share some thoughts. So welcome to the community.
You have another one? Second one?
I'd first like to say, Geoff and I are old school Mainers. We grew up in Augusta, where relationships meant everything. And we've kind of, in society, I think, kind of walked away from that a little bit, which is why we chose Waterboro, for 2 reasons. Because it's a great town, but also because it's filled with great people. Nick has been fantastic, and Tom has been fantastic. And that's really meant so much to Geoff and I. We've worked with many towns before in trying to, grow our business, and all the way up to the federal government. And what made a difference for us was Tom, for you guys, and to have somebody that you could tell was a real person, and was a real person like we are, coming from northern Maine. And if you're below Augusta, you're below the bridge, But, and by the way, Brian, I'm sure Brian Doyle used to do this, if you weren't from Augusta, you can't call it Disgusta. And I just want to speak too, I want to throw kudos to Brian Doyle here. I don't know how long we've been working together to find us a real cooperative effort here has come together. Thank you, Brian. I know it's been a long time coming. We did expect a lot of properties together, and finally have come to this one. Like Mike was saying earlier, we've worked with much of the towns here in southern Maine with very good people around, I must say. But certainly Waterboro to have a pleasure like you guys and Tom and Brian finally sit down and find this place. I think we found a gem, and that's really, I can see great things coming. And so the history is back in 2001. We developed a vehicle in a garage in South and North Berwick. We entered it and we worked with DARPA, which is the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. Don't say it 5 times fast. I can't say it 1 time fast. And we ended up, the Army ended up getting a hold of us and seeing what we had developed. In 2005, they were really, really impressed with the help from Senator Collins and Senator Snow. We were able to secure funding to further the R&D for the Ripsaw project, and then it just started snowballing. Once we were able to build a real prototype, military prototype, and test it and show its capabilities to save lives. Popular Science got on board, named it Invention of the Year 2009, which was, to us, unbelievable. And it's like this. If you're a patriot, or, a New England patriot, or cowboy, and you're a football player, and you've been playing football for your whole life, and you've made the NFL, and you make the cover of Sports Illustrated as being the best player. That's what it was like for us. It was so, because when we grew up, Mom bought us Popular Science. That was the first magazine we got. Popular Science and Popular Mechanics. It's a big deal for us, and we're proud to have that in our history. Things just snowballed. Jeff, you want to talk about current affairs?
Yeah, current affairs, I can talk about most of them, I'm sure, and Tom can speak to one that happened the other day to him. We were doing some routine business, and the Discovery Channel is doing a series on us now. It's called Black Ops Brothers. It's actually, they've now finished the season. They'll be up for another couple of weeks. Very, very good, very exciting, and they actually paint ourselves and our company and what we're doing in very good light. So we're very happy with that. Probably will be a season 2. We're working currently right now with RDEC and the military operations to build more of these prototypes for our forces to be tested down at Aberdeen, White Sands, and some of these human testing grounds. And we just got word. Can we say it?
We can say, are we on camera?
Yes, we are on camera.
This can't be for the paper, or I don't know if anybody's writing for a paper, but this is just to the town. Can we cross this out after? It's not top secret, it's just sensitive. Yes. No?
Go ahead.
You promise?
Somebody from Prescal, the real
We are officially in contract with Hollywood. We just got a contract to be the vehicle developers for a new movie, probably one of the biggest movies come out in 2010. It's Mad Max. It's the remake of Mad Max.
Yeah.
So
To build one of their vehicles, which is actually the one that Crown
Max drives.
Yeah. So they'll be going through, I think, 80 or something vehicles, but we are contracted to build the...
that just went through today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're excited. Business is doing really well, and more importantly, we're excited to be here and to be invited to a meeting like this and to be able to explain what we do is fantastic and shows us that we picked the right town. So thank you guys.
I guess any questions for us?
Yeah. Is Mel Gibson coming to Waterboro?
You know, I hope so. I've heard a handful of the actors that they proposed, but I can't talk about who, but they're all actors we know. But I wish Mel Gibson would. But it's actually a prequel, just like the Star Wars. It's going to be run technically before Mel Gibson does. So, yeah.
And if you do stop by the shop, you may, like Tom found out, find yourself backed up in a corner with a Discovery Channel producer asking you to waiver your rights to airtime.
Yeah.
But it's all for fun, and it's a fantastic show. The show is about the underdog struggle. It's about the American dream. It's about entrepreneurship. It's about the successes and the failures of life. So I hope all you guys watch. It starts in January.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
We're excited.
And our crescendo for the final show is we're moving to Waterboro.
Oh, that's so cool.
And then the real crescendo is when the Ripsaw leads the Old Home Days Parade.
That would be cool.
One more important question. You have a big hunting community. Any weaponizing for deer hunting?
There's been a requirement. There's been requirements down the line, but as of now, that's actually classified.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
We
that's
certainly
great.
appreciate the opportunity to invite you down, and we know that certainly it seemed like every other week we were huddling with Tom and everybody to see what was going on. So we certainly are thrilled to have you here, and look forward to many, many years of being a good relationship, and developing a good relationship, and having a good corporate citizen of town.
Yeah, makes it all the world less.
And while we've been
really.
sitting here, our code officer has kind of slipped through the back door, but Didn't want to do this herself, but we're proud to present you with your occupancy.
Oh, you can just hold on.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Tom?
And Tom, yeah, there you go.
Mike and Geoff,
On the floor again.
good grief, huh? Mike and Geoff, thank you so much. And know that the town staff and the town administrator are there for you. If something comes up, let us know. So now let's move on to Commissioner Richardson, John Richardson, who's here with Brian Doyle. And it's good to have you here, John, because both Mike, Geoff, and I are interested to hear from you about what types of tax incentives you have, what types of grant monies you have. And so I'm sure you're here to talk about those initiatives and those incentives. So just a little bit on John. He's served 4 consecutive terms in the Maine House. That was served between 1998 and the year 2006. And as you all recall, John has served as Speaker, 97th Speaker of the House, back in December of 2004. He didn't ask me not to say this, but speculation on the street, at least on the Waterboro streets, was that he may be a potential gubernatorial candidate. So I'll just kind of leave it with that, John, and you can fess up if that's true or not. I'd like to introduce John Richardson, Commissioner of the Economic and Community Development. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Oh, my pleasure. He had a bio. He didn't show you the bio that he had. No, it was because I like when they read that bio because it's just as I wrote it. But I say don't give me long introductions, and the reason I ask that is that I have had and received many long introductions, and people have said some very nice things about me, as did Tom. And recently I was driving home with my wife from an event, and I was introduced as one of the real leaders in the state of Maine. So as I was driving home that night, I said to my wife, I said, honey, did you hear what they said about me? And she said, uh-huh. And I said, honey, as I'm driving home tonight, I'm just wondering, how many real leaders in the state of Maine do you think there are? And like any good wife, she paused for a moment and said, honey, one less than you think there is. So I come to you humbled by a very good wife, and I'm here today to say thank you very much for all that you do. The work that you do is absolutely crucial to our vision and our plan for economic development. It really starts with the boots on the ground and with people like Tom, who have done a fabulous job. You're very fortunate. I know many directors of economic development, planners, and I can tell you that you have a first-rate person in Tom here. And I thank you for recognizing Brian Doyle, our business development specialist, who works both in York and Cumberland County and works and serves at the pleasure of the commissioner, and he has pleased us very much in terms of all he has been able to accomplish. And Brian Doyle, our business development specialist, you deserve great credit. I did want to say that to Mike and Geoff, for a minute, I actually thought I was at a Mythbusters show with all that you had described and all that you've been through in coming to this point in your careers to establish a wonderful business here in this great community. I've said many times, and I just want to, I think it's worth, if you give me just a moment, to tell you what I think make the 4 key ingredients to any successful business in the state of Maine. And first and foremost, it's people. And that means vertically integrated, we have a great workforce. And we have great people to work with, whether it's a local town select board, whether it's a regional entity such as an economic development district, or whether it's the state. And we're a small town, as we know, in Maine, and so as a result of that, we tend to know each other, and we tend to work well with each other. And that's a testament to the Maine way. But I think that, for me, it's really, as I say, about the people, but it's also about, as a well-educated workforce. And so, as you struggle, I know you do, with tough budgets, I've been in the position of having been majority leader, been speaker, and had to make very tough decisions on how much money towns get through revenue sharing and through the GPA. And these are tough decisions you have to make in terms of how you meet that obligation to make up the difference. And I applaud you for it, because a well-educated workforce is what is driving people like Mike and Geoff to this community. Without a well-educated workforce, you can see the technology that they're working on. Without that ability, they would not be here. And so your commitment to education, I think, is something that I know people get upset with tax rates. I know people get upset with, having to meet the goals and the obligations. But this here today, what Mike and Geoff are doing with their company, Howe, that's a funny name, but I think it's a great illustration of why it is that the commitment to education is so mightily important. So if you have great people and they're well educated, what next is it that they need? I think it's innovation. We used to call it Yankee ingenuity. My grandfather was born in the Orono, Old Town area and worked in the mills, and he's probably the smartest man I ever met. And he could change or modify any process with his hands. And he just was quite smart and quite innovative that way. I don't like calling it Yankee ingenuity. That's what they used to call it. I'm a Red Sox fan, so I want to call it something different. And in today's world, it's called innovation. And so if you have a well-educated workforce, you have a great work ethic, and you have innovation, the next thing that will be apparent to you is that it's about technology. In this ever-changing global economy, technology rules. And those who can have the ability to innovate using technology are going to provide the highest paying jobs and the best quality of life. And today, you have an illustration of that in this company, Howe and what they've been able to achieve. And so I applaud you, because it just doesn't fall out of the sky. Economic development is hard work, and it takes a commitment on your part as the council and along with the staff to make this a reality. And so kudos to you. Congratulations to what you've been able to achieve. I wanted to also say that we're very keen on, as was described here by Tom, on our incentives. Maine is about in the middle of the pack nationally when it comes to incentive programs that we offer. We offer up a very generous Pine Tree Zone benefit, which means if you're a company coming here, a company moving in this direction, or starting up, you have the ability to have the tax benefits where all the taxes that you pay to the state are forgiven, and are forgiven for a period of 10 years. In the first 5 years at 100%, and the second 5 years at 50%. And that really is intended to help new emerging businesses, or businesses that we attract from away from the state. That enables them to get started and to use that money to help build that business. Recently, when I was Speaker of the House, I passed a bill and sponsored the bill that was a sponsor of the bill, along with David Bowles, who was then the minority leader from Sanford, to eliminate the business equipment tax program. And that was important because we don't want to tax investment. So we're not taxing investment anymore. We also are investing by using incentives to reduce down the amount of taxes that are paid by a new company or a company that has been attracted here. And I think that you'll find that lowering that income tax rate that was done by the legislature more recently from 8.5 to 6.5 will have a major impact on the ability to recruit highly skilled and highly compensated employees. Many companies have hard times when you have a high tax rate on the upper ends of that spectrum to recruit qualified people. And so reducing down the income tax rate, I think, has been another absolute essential key to our success. We have had successes. I keep telling people that these are tough times, and there's no question. And I must admit that, and I must concede that fact. But in spite of those tough times, we have had success stories. Today, I was very pleased because our department played a key role in expanding jobs at Old Town Canoe. And at Old Town Canoe, there are 48 new jobs. And we sat down, myself and a number of members of our team, with Johnson Evinrude, who is the parent company to Old Town Canoe, and with the city officials in Old Town. And it was a city, state, and company-derived plan to make sure, if you can believe this, that Old Town was thinking of moving out Old Town Canoe of Old Town. and consolidating their business in Wisconsin, in Racine, Wisconsin, which was where, in fact, the company has its parent headquarters. We were able not only to hold on to Old Town Canoe, but to expand it by bringing a new product into Old Town and making that a reality. That happened because people like you were committed locally, the state was committed, and certainly the company played a role as well. Good things are happening, and I think sometimes we talk too much about what's wrong with Maine, and we need to talk more about what's right with Maine. And today is an illustration of what really is, I think, what Maine is all about, and that is great people who are very innovative, with a great town and a great quality of place all coming together. I was asked, finally, to talk just about the fact that DECD has awarded more recently here with TK Machining, a Pine Tree Zone certification that was in 2008. I know that's had, they manufacture parts, as you know, for the medical, communications, and automation industries. That's important. And I was talking both with Geoff and with Mike more recently, because they have this platform that they work on that's on treads. And it's quite a gadget. If you've seen it, it's in one of the, there's a local, I think it's here, Popular Science. But in Popular Science, here on the front, is their machine, their platform with treads. And you can see up at the top it has a gun. And that gun is there, obviously, on a swivel that provides them with, or whomever's controlling this vehicle, the ability to make some sort of rapid response. Well, the interesting thing is, as I was talking to them out in the hallway, Vingtech, just down the road, makes, in the Biddeford industrial site, makes parts that go on here, onto this finished product. And Saco Defense is just down the road. And what we have is, with Bushmaster and many others, we have an emerging, really, cluster of economic development around arms and industry. That is obviously the.
I thought it was Jeff's phone for a second.
That must be the one. That must be the one child that did not go to Bowdoin, I think.
He doesn't get out much.
Yeah. Yeah. One had to go to Orono and one went to Bowdoin. That's okay. I couldn't. My grandfather told me that when he wanted me desperately to go to Orono, and he asked me at the time, "Do you want to be a big toad in a small pond or a small toad in a big pond?" Not knowing the answer, I didn't go to Orono, but I wish I had. But I just want to say there's a cluster that's developing, and I think this is great news for you, because bringing this company here is going to enable you to start to make the case of bringing other companies that actually support this company or complement this company to this region. And I want to thank you for doing that, because it makes our job that much easier. If there are any questions, I'd be glad to answer them, but I'm done with what I was told to speak about.
Questions, comments?
Yep.
Oh, come on.
I will.
Okay.
John, I am part of the Economic Development Committee in Waterboro. We just implemented that back in the spring. We actually have the chair of the committee and a couple of members here. And some of the things that we're exploring are ways to make our community more attractive to businesses. We definitely have a lot of resources to offer, both in our recreational opportunities. We certainly could bring more tourism into our community, take benefit from our lakes, our mountains, our scenic vistas, our recreational ATV, snowmobile trails,
Right.
fishing, hunting. But the other thing that we have in our community is that we have the Route 202 corridor and we have the Route 5 corridor, and we're very centrally located to Sanford, Biddeford, Saco, Portland, even the New Hampshire border. So as we're looking to bring in maybe some light industry, maybe some tourism, what are some suggestions that you could give Waterboro so that we can be competitive? Because there's so many communities that are out there looking for some of the things that we need to do. How do we be competitive in that market?
I think, good question, and I think that we have some of the resources that demonstrate demonstrate the need for kind of a strategic plan around this issue. We have the Office of Tourism within the Department of Economic Development, and I have asked on occasion that the Office of Tourism come down with a number of tourism specialists to speak to an economic development committee such as yours, or to the select persons, or to the town or city council. And I think we just recently did this in Saco, and I think it was Mayor Michaud, Larry, and also the town manager, Rick Michaud, I got a note back saying how impressed they were and how much assistance they felt that they received in getting that group down here. So what we can offer from the department, first and foremost, is an ability, if you want to focus on the tourism, or what we call, the kind of the nature-based tourism opportunities that exist because of snowmobiling or ATVs or, the lakes and all that you have to offer here. That becomes something that we would then suggest to you, say, hey, let us come down here with the Office of Tourism, and let us show you what we're doing in tourism, both in terms of research and in terms of tourism promotion through advertising and that sort of thing. So you can understand what we're promoting, and then you can understand where your strengths lie. And they can show you the market research that says this is what people want. Interestingly enough, bird watching is one of the fastest growing, I don't say occupation, but it's one of the fastest growing events for people to do. Those are the things, if you didn't know it, and you might miss the mark. So I would suggest tourism as one opportunity, and I would then also further suggest that from a business development standpoint, we come down and talk to you about your economic development model. Where are you? What are you doing? What opportunities do we see based on what you have? What Maine needs to do, and what we're beginning to do, is look at what we call asset mapping, meaning what are your assets? And then take the assets that you have and align your resources, both from the state and the region and from the town, and align those resources directly to your stated goal, whatever it is. So if you have strengths, you take those strengths and then you take your resources, whether they're financial or technical, and you push them in that direction. And I think we can say to you, we know what your strengths are. One of the things the Maine Department of Labor does very well is a mapping exercise on workforce development. So we can actually drill down in Waterboro and say, what kind of workforce do you have here? Or maybe in the region, and draw circles around this area and say, what kind of workforce do you have? This is the kind of business you ought to go after based on the fact that you have a strength in this area. Wilton found out, for instance, that it had a very strong market related to insurance agents. They had a lot of insurance agents in the Wilton, Farmington area. As a result of that, a company decided to move in to that area. And same thing happened in Pittsfield as well. So we can show you where your strengths are from where your workers, from that point of view, and we can say this is what you ought to go after and help you, develop a strategy around that. If that helps answer your question.
Yes, it does, very much,
Okay.
thank you.
So we can do that, and we will follow up with Tom, if that's okay, and we'll provide you with a rapid response team, if you, for lack of a better word, as it relates to business assistance, business development, and then also tourism.
Wonderful, thank you.
You bet. And there also, one last thing I'd say, we often get our groups that work with us, we try to get them tied into the University of Maine at Orono. I made fun of it, but it's a great institution, and it has great assets and great capacity, especially on the research and development side. And Dr. Habib Dagger, for instance, in composites, I think is somebody that we ought to be, talking to. Because you're right here in this western part, of the state where, there are a lot of what I call initiatives that you could be taking advantage of. And we just have to marry up, I think, your assets that you have here with the opportunities. Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate the time and effort that we know it's not an easy ride down from Augusta, but we certainly appreciate the time. Oh, I'm sorry, John.
No, I'm just, no, it's just, actually, I was going to direct this to Geoff and Mike, if I may.
Okay.
Because the commissioner brought this up, and that's the whole education. As you expand, as you develop your business, what type of worker do you see your greatest need for?
That's a great question, because that's a challenge that, it's a challenge we deal with on a daily basis. That's a good question, and certainly that is a challenge that we work for, that we try to solve every day. Finding the perfect worker, ideally in the business that we're doing, we need a worker that is ideally good, if not great at mostly everything. And I know that's probably everybody could use that, but certainly in our workforce we need a great welder. But this welder also has to be able to fabricate, read prints, do electrical work, code writing, and right on down the line where
Even pick up after themselves.
even pick up after themselves, sure. We are using some students now from some surrounding areas. We just did a thing down at Sanford Votech, which was very promising, and we're following leads on that as well. We do have some students from UNH, the engineering school there. But part of the problem is that we're looking for, the people that really are schooled in most everything.
Have
Where
experience, it's really
yeah,
important.
it seems like nowadays in the workforce, everybody's really kind of narrowed into one certain, I'm only a welder, I'm only an electrician, so it's really tough to find those perfect people. We certainly are looking, and I think right now have a tremendous, great workforce. But that's a challenge that we're trying to solve
I
ourselves.
think it's from those bigger companies, maybe like Pratt & Whitney, that everybody's very focused, oriented. I mean, we're smaller, that everybody needs to be, jack of all, master of most. And Tammy, what you had asked before about what you guys do, in my opinion, you guys already did it. And part of it's that guy back there, a lot of it is, for me, but be personable, be real, like you've been presented to us. And I think you're gonna get the real businesses that you want. And that's really what made the difference for Geoff and I. We have strong ties to the state of Maine on a bunch of different levels, besides being born in Augusta. We were really attracted to New Hampshire. Peace Tradeport is, there's some financial incentives there. It was very hard for Geoff and I to just ignore that. And if we didn't have such many ties, I'm sure that's where a lot of the companies are going. What really helps is that when you have people like Tom, people like Brian, making it real and important for us to be a part of the town, just like anybody else. You guys have made a difference, man. In my opinion, we work with a lot of towns. We've worked with every single town. I think
From here south,
Stanford, yeah. Good job, owed to you guys.
Brian? First of all, can I get a copy of this tape so I can listen to it about once a week?
Especially the one that keeps going back to.
We're ready to help the Howe brothers in finding the right workforce. We have people at the Department of Labor that can identify workforce. We have programs that can help train workforce. So we're poised and ready to work with these students. Now that they've landed, because they were mobile, they didn't know where they were. Now that they've landed and they've got contracts in hand, they know now more what their needs are. So that's where we can come in. And actually, I got a phone call today from Craig Terrio, who was asking me some questions that you had asked him. So we're prepared to assist them with offices and programs that will help them identify and train the right people to grow the business here successfully. So this is what we do well. Okay? And again, a copy of that tape would be great.
This is the same Craig Terrio that just happens to live in Waterboro?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was very excited when he learned that the Howe brothers had chosen. He took the first 3 minutes of the conversation with him, he was jumping for joy in the office that Waterboro was where the Howe brothers had landed the business. So he's very stoked to be working with the brothers on this.
Good.
Other questions? All right.
Copies of this tape can be ordered from
Discovery Channel.
$24.99.
Yeah, go ahead.
As I've been listening to all the speakers, I kind of was thinking back, and it's kind of amazing where people are one day and where they are the next. Because I can remember when I was with the Sanford Police that we played a softball game down at Goodall Park. And one of the people that we played against was a very little-known individual down there. He was playing with some retired ball players and football players and baseball players. And I guess there were some hockey players there. They had this group. And today, that gentleman is Tom Brady of the New England Patriots. And I'm thinking of the same analogy when I first met John. He was an attorney for a law firm out of Portland that represented the police officers in Sanford as the attorney for the Maine Association of Police. And it's been a long time since that time, and look where he is now. And as he used to so diplomatically express himself across the bargaining table, and plan that strategy. He also, tonight, has strategically avoided the one question that I think that I posed to him as to whether or not he was going to make Waterboro the announcing platform for his gubernatorial race.
Board, if I could get a launching pad like they have, I might do it tonight. But soon, thank you.
Well, listen, anything else from the board? If not, I guess I speak for the board and for the town. You know, we are thrilled to have you brothers here, okay? And I think Tom has referred to you as the brothers more than,
Yeah.
and we get a little confused with that
Brothers.
sometimes, but you know, certainly, you know, a year and a half or almost 2 years ago, we made a conscious decision in this, as a board, that we were going to go out and hire a town planner again. And it wasn't just for land use planning, it was also for kind of the infrastructure and economic development within this municipality. And we selected Tom because of his, I really think his genuine personality and those kind of reasons. And we had a little history years and years ago. Tom did work a little bit for the then Economic Development Committee of Town of Waterboro. But we're pleased that he has made a difference not only with the economic piece of what's going on in Waterboro, but certainly you know, some of the stuff that we've been able to do with the Maine Department of Transportation and other things. So, and we certainly appreciate Brian's help. And I think you know, I think back many years when the first time that when GTE moved out of this building, and I think a call, I was on the board then, and probably Brian doesn't remember this, but I do remember that there was a call from the state saying, hey, is there anything that we can do to help? But, so there's been a whole host of people involved in this thing, and certainly Representative Wagner, who's in the back of the room, who as many years as I've been on this board, on the 2 occasions that I've been around, probably has spent more nights in meetings here than all of the other years collective, and that's about 18 different years. So, so we appreciate his involvement. So it really is a lot of things happening in Waterboro, and yeah, we're dealing with the same tough economic times that everybody else with. We're scratching for every tax dollar that we can utilize and to its fullest to run the municipality, but we really do, and I can't express this enough, appreciate the fact that that you two chose this community to settle your business in, and we appreciate that. So.
It's such a business to be proud of, too. I mean, you can, you know, I'm sure there are a lot of businesses out there looking for a lot of towns, but I think it was a little more exciting when we got online and saw, oh my God, and we couldn't tell anybody, and my husband is so into the war, and you know, he's a veteran, and we couldn't tell anybody, and I just kept hinting, oh, you are going to love this one, and he'd say, what? And I'd say, I can't tell you.
I remember when we meet the Discovery crew in the store and the restaurant, they're from California, they're a little different than we are. But, they're good people. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Well, we do appreciate, and again, extend thanks to Commissioner for coming down. And,
Quite welcome.
And you know, we've enjoyed now the Commissioner of the DOT and yourself down here. So we got a whole litany of lists, right, Tom? That we're going down.
You know where we are. Come back.
Yeah.
And I do want to thank Tom. He's just such a, he's so intelligent, but underneath it, he's just this little squishy teddy bear that you just want to, Squishy teddy bear?
And it really goes without saying that we want to thank Nick and
And
certainly
definitely,
Adrian over
yes.
all the years.
All the years.
And we understand that
Yes.
that you folks made a business decision that was right for
Yes.
your business, but, you know, we don't want to for a minute slight the fact
No.
that you folks were a tremendous employer in this community for a lot of years. And we
I will
appreciate
tell you
that
one
greatly.
thing. The most innovative years in the production of the product that we did occurred with the labor force here. It really did. Can't say enough.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just one little tip, though, if there's a meeting that we have in here and we asked Tom to chair it. You really need to shut that out because he will take.
Oh, he'll
your cell
take it.
phone. He'll take it away from you.
Yeah, and the
Board should
second,
be
yeah.
expected. It takes care of the business of the other.
That's part of the deal.
That's after the Tom death glare.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't care who you are.
Nice squishy teddy bear. You're allowed just a little bit too much.
You don't see them that way.
You just don't see him that way, that's right.
Well, again, we thank everybody for coming, and certainly you're more than welcome to sit through the rest of our meeting, but if we want to, and I know some of you got the distance to travel, so. Okay. So, I'm going to take,
Can you let us know?
we can go back up on the audio there. All right, welcome back. Sorry we kind of consumed the bulk of the evening, but I think it was significant that a significant event in the town of Waterboro. So appreciate everybody's involvement. Any committee reports? I think is where we left off. New business, vote to accept the final audit as presented
So moved.
by.
Second.
Any discussion on the audit? Everybody okay? All those in favor? Discuss the vote for the Friends of the Waterboro Public Library one-day liquor license and special amusement permit.
I'll move to accept.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Any old business? Warrants and bills for payroll.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor? Pending decisions, personnel policy, and...
We've got we're supposed to have a proposal together for committee involvement, increasing committee involvement.
Yep.
I think Dennis maybe was supposed to
Yeah.
get that together.
Well, we've got the outline of it.
So maybe we can put that on the pending
Yeah.
decisions list.
All right. The Parks and Rec ordinance is scheduled for next week, right? In the public hearing?
The 17th.
17th.
Next week.
Right. 17th.
You have 1 week,
we have
that's
1
next
week,
week.
yeah.
Okay. Anything from this week's, from an action list? We have a lot on here tonight. Any discussion of agenda items for next week?
Yeah, I'd like to find out the status of our consolidated municipal email that Dave was going to be working on.
Any update on the, Nancy, I guess from your perspective, maybe just report on it of the phone? Oh, she's not here?
Oh.
No.
She walked out.
She did.
Hey, I'm talking to her. Well, let's put a note that we need just an update on where we are on the phone. I don't want anybody to lose sight of that, because that's significant to the town. What else? That it? What do we got scheduled?
Ordinance, public hearing. I don't remember.
We have our meeting with Pam next week.
On the 19th.
Pam, the 19th, there's a meeting, committee training here at 6 PM on Thursday night.
Thursday night.
All right, so
We
let's,
may have to schedule another one because we're getting a lot of,
That can't
can't make it.
make
Yep.
it. Right.
okay, items needing signature, warrants and bills for payroll, there's no payroll, right? We did that already last week. So warrants and bills, there is the applications in here. I mean, the permits for Friends of the Waterboro Public Library. Reminders, tomorrow is Veterans Day. This
Right.
building will be closed. November 12th at noon, seniors luncheon, the annual Thanksgiving dinner.
And that's actually the last senior luncheon of the season. They found that most of the participants are snowbirds, and they weren't having a lot of
Lucky them.
folks coming out. And I just like to say that that program this year, Lakeside Market has donated the meals this year for the senior diner program, and they've gone from having 5 or 6 to sometimes having as many as 20 or 30 participants in that dinner this year. And so I'd like to thank the Bonnettes for that donation to the dining program, and kudos to Isabel Coleman, who's been running that program for a number of years and does a fantastic job with it. It's a great program, and there's a lot of people that put a lot of work into making sure that it happens.
Good.
Good. I know there was a question last year about this time, whether or not it was even going to survive, right?
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
all right, November 12th at 6 p.m., those committee members that can make it, there is committee training here, and it's on the right to know law and some of the other issues associated with that. And that'll be in this room on Thursday night at 6 p.m. And it sounds like we'll have a makeup session, so to speak, being scheduled. Friday, those of you that have an appointment with York County Community Action for fuel assistance, they will be here all day, but you do need an appointment to meet with them. Saturday morning, the ever-popular cribbage tournament at 8:30 at the Town Hall. Monday evening, Water District trustees in the Town Hall. At 6:30 p.m., the 12-town group will be meeting in this room, and there is a whole kind of list of issues that will be discussed. Next Tuesday evening at 6 p.m., the Waterboro Selectmen's meeting here, and Thursday evening, although it's not on here, Thursday evening is the meeting, the workshop between the board and EMA director on emergency planning.
By the way, if you get the email posted on the work site.
Right. Anything else that I missed? I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to mention one thing.
Oh, go ahead.
If there's anybody either here or in the viewing audience at home who has a relative, friend that resides in Waterboro that is currently in the armed forces, if you could email me their photograph at my town email address. I'm trying to put together a little something for one of the selectmen's meetings that would showcase the people that are serving their country that live in the town of Waterboro. So if you'd do that, I would appreciate it.
Okay. Maybe post something out on the web, to attract some of that. So, anything else? I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Thank you.